Megan Bird. Thanks for joining us. When it comes to hobbies, Heartland Hobbies, local music is striking a chord in our city. An in-depth look at the music of the people. This is the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
It's a testing time for students and staff alike. St. Peter Claver, a 4-year-old Omaha Catholic high school, will close this spring. The school lets students work one school day a week to pay for their tuition. Dan Jensen shows us why some administrators are saying the school's unique system may have spelled trouble from the start.
It's only been open 4 years. So what caused St. Peter Claver to close?
The economy was in such a situation that we couldn't get all the jobs for the students. That required more of an effort for outside fundraising. Dipping into a line of credit then, when the budget got tight, the accumulation of things got them in the situation that the school was in, and we just couldn't sustain it anymore.
A year ago, Holy Name Elementary School was also in danger of closing. So how are they still open?
Holy Name has a lot of high school alumni that are in the Omaha community and in the states around the United States. And they also rallied to a great extent to support us and to help let their friends know that we were worth supporting.
Cristo Rey's been open since 2007. There is not an alumni base. The alums have came to the aid of Holy Name. Again, there isn't that assistance from Cristo Rey alums.
The effects of the school's closing will be felt by many.
I think everyone is disappointed. It was a wonderful opportunity for many of our students whose families certainly can't afford the $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 that it costs to go to a private high school in general.
St. Peter Claver leaves this simple message for its students and the community. For the Omaha News, I'm Dan Jensen.
The greater Omaha area is home to 8 other Catholic high schools. The Archdiocese of Nebraska has recently announced a tuition assistance program for students transferring from St. Peter Claver to another Catholic school. For more information, visit spccristolrey.org.
Well, one more Omaha student may be looking for a new school soon. Police say 26-year-old Joshua Wolf, a Creighton University law student, stole up to $1,200 worth of Nintendo Wiis from a local Costco. Wolf allegedly slipped the Wii consoles into industrial boxes of Sun Chips, priced at $8.75 each, and then went through the checkout. Police say he got away with it at least 4 different times this year. The cashiers must have just thought he really liked Sun Chips.
Well, local music lovers looking for a fresh sound aren't short on options. From the Mosaic to the Slowdown to Sokol Underground, Omaha has its fair share of venues. Josh Korth shares an inside look at the city's music scene.
In the Benson area, local music can be found in numerous places. And in a dim-lit room inside of the pizza shop, local bands filled the room with brilliant sounds. With various genres, ranging from rock to hip-hop, there's a different beat for everyone in the room. Even though there isn't much money made at these local shows, the local scene didn't seem to be too worried about that. After talking to the local acoustic solo project, Vessel, it became more apparent what local music is really all about.
Basically, the coolest thing about playing a show isn't the money, it's getting to play a show with a lot of your friends, getting your music out there.
And there does seem to be something that brings this local music scene together.
My favorite thing is not only the support, like you get a lot of your best friends to come.
Friends aren't the only thing that help this bond.
Any general admission space is going to have a more intimacy than, like private seats or like an arena.
After listening to all the bands, the uniqueness of each one became more apparent. I Am the Navigator, for instance, used a computer with a drum machine on it instead of an actual drummer. The duo also use an accordion, among other instruments, that continue to bring a vibrant sound throughout their entire set. Sometimes, these vibrant sounds can be used as a way to express how a person feels or even let out some aggression, as the vocalist for Lockjaw explains.
I have something to say through music, really, but it's really fun.
And in between bands setting up, or between songs, there was laughter in the air and smiles all around the room that lasted the whole night.
Another great place to find local music is a place that you might not hear about, which is in the back way of the alley on 60th and Maple, and this venue is called The Hole.
The Hole, which is in the basement of a Subway in Benson, is a great place for new bands to play.
Yeah, The Hole will never turn anybody away. They've been pretty adamant about letting anybody play. They like to cross genres with their shows.
Sometimes, the mixing of genres at a concert can be a problem to some.
It doesn't really matter though.
Oftentimes, different styles of bands at one show can be a good thing.
You get a lot of people introduced in the area to your music, especially if you play with a good band that gets a good draw. There's a lot more kids there.
And there is a common way things are done in the local music scene.
It's pretty DIY, like everyone does it themselves.
And fun is what it is really all about. For the Omaha News, I'm Josh Korth.
For more opportunities to hear some of the talent Omaha has to offer, log on to hearnebraska.org or 1%productions.com. Both sites offer a schedule of local bands playing in the area.
It's safe to say local support means the world to one Omaha entertainer. The Nebraska native Tim Halperin has reached the top 12 men in American Idol. Last night, the 23-year-old performed Street Corner Symphony by Rob Thomas. So far, Halperin has also performed an original song and an older song by the Beatles called Something. Tonight's results show will tell us if America wants the Omaha West Side graduate to continue on.
After the break, technology that lets you carry thousands of books in the palm of your hand. E-readers like Amazon.com's Kindle are building a fire beneath other book sale businesses. Next in our consumer news.
Plus, strong reactions as the state's new license plate design is sweeping across the city. You may be surprised at just what goes into planning a plate. This is the Omaha News.
Something wasn't right.
Were they lying to the public?
There was a bigger story here than just a plane crash.
It's become the symbol of everything that's wrong with the industry.
My kid got 6 vaccines in one day and he regressed.
Not only are those children who aren't vaccinated at risk, but those who can't be vaccinated are at risk.
Nobody really knew what was going on. What was it in this market that had to be hidden?
I spent millions of dollars in cash, bribing government officials.
People in power do not like the investigation to come too close to them.
You never hear these stories.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on NET1.
UNO Television.
Students work with professionals who have all kinds of experience in the industry.
Lights, camera, action. Literally.
Get paid while you learn more about the TV business.
Work on all kinds of productions.
My friends who worked on TV crew last semester are now working part-time at local stations.
Working on TV crew is a great experience.
UNO Television. Student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
The book business is turning a new page. As Sony readers, Nooks, and Kindles are dominating the competition, a new Nielsen poll shows 6% of people over the age of 55 own an e-reader. Anthony Davis reports on the strong spine behind the ebook business.
It used to be at the library. Checking out books meant deciding between paperback or hardcover. Now there's a new format, digital.
You can do some of the social networking with Twitter, Facebook. You're reading a passage, you push a button, and it goes to your Facebook page that you want to share out of this book that you're reading.
Businesses are already feeling the effects of these disruptive technological trends. Barnes & Noble came out with their own version of an electronic reader. Borders bookstores recently announced how they have to restructure their stores, while smaller businesses are being forced to disappear.
Newer technologies are constantly changing the way people receive information. This electronic reading device, for example, is capable of holding 3,500 of these.
These are the effects from e-reader devices, where you can take your own cache of literature anywhere.
I feel like it's nice for students if you want to bring books but you don't have a lot of space, so it's really nice for travel, so it makes that really convenient.
Convenience is an obvious plus, but no one says they'll replace actual books outright.
E-books, print books, paperback books will all exist together. I don't think any one of them will get rid of the others.
AT&T says the company will start selling Amazon Kindles in its retail stores this Sunday. With Borders filing for bankruptcy, book businesses across the country are scrambling to catch up with the book sale behemoth.
With us now is reporter Anthony Davis, whose story we just saw. Anthony, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Now, tell me, what do you think attracts people to these e-readers instead of old-fashioned books?
Well, a big thing about these devices is the cost of them. With books, you have to pay for the paper, the people to make the devices, to ship the books out. You're not doing that with with this kind of device here. You're literally just paying for the rights to be able to read it. On Amazon.com, a book that might cost $24 at the store would, say, cost between $8 to $10. And then another real thing about this is the convenience of them. This small e-reader device has about 26 books on it.
What about the older generation? Are they staying up to date with the technology?
Recent statistics are showing that they actually are. A survey done by Amazon Boards with about 1,400 people shows that the largest demographic of people using these devices are between the ages of 40 to 69 years of age.
Wow. Totally didn't expect that. But thank you for joining us.
No problem.
For more information on e-reader books, e-readers, visit ereadermatrix.com, mobileread.com, or theebookreader with hyphens in it.com.
Flowers and birds are sweeping the state, but it's not spring that's bringing in the changes. As Brandy Rollins shares, love or hate the new license plate design, a lot more goes into it than you might think.
When it's time to renew your license plates, expect more than just a sticker. Western metals and goldenrods are popping up on cars across the state.
Well, we get a new hard license plate every 6 years. 6 years was settled upon because it was long enough to be cost effective, but not so long that the license plates wouldn't get too banged up.
There's a lot of work involved with planning a new plate design. 7.6 million plates goes out to 93 counties. Planning begins 3 years prior to the end of the 6-year cycle. Manufacturing starts 18 months prior to the January 1st issue date.
The license plates are produced by the state penitentiary in Lincoln. The trustees bring the plates to us.
There are some mixed feelings about the new plate design.
They're a little plain. I don't think that really says what Nebraska is about. It doesn't show Chimney Rock, which is one of the most famous landmarks that we are known for.
I personally think these look better than the last ones we had. Of course, I'm partial to Nebraska. I'd love to see a scarlet and cream combination.
Whether you like it or not, the new plates will be around for the next 6 years. For the Omaha News, I'm Brandy Rollins.
The new plate design was supposed to be picked via an online poll back in May of 2009. But a popular comedy website heard about it and urged visitors to vote for the one they thought was the ugliest. A massive response led to the Nebraska DMV to scrap the results.
The UNO Mavericks are skating on home ice for the WCHA hockey playoffs. We'll show you how the Frozen Finals have the school's athletic office heating up. Next in sports.
Plus, March Madness is just around the corner. The Creighton Blue Jays are vying for a spot in the NCAA tournament. But to make it, they'll have to slip through the jaws of the Panthers. This is the Omaha News.
Something new.
Or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
It would seem almost impossible. Or push the limit.
Large tornado! It's humongous! We need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1. Breathtaking. Electrifying. Inspiring. Award-winning documentaries produced by UNO Television offer you a window on the history of Omaha and the world. Beginning with the acclaimed 2-hour documentary on the history of Omaha, If These Walls Could Speak, UNO Television has developed a reputation for producing high-quality programs that explore, educate, and enlighten. These outstanding productions can be part of your home video collection. For information about purchasing VHS or DVD copies, call 554-2516 or visit our website at unotv.unomaha.edu.
You're watching the Omaha News.
For the past 2 years, the University of Northern Iowa Panthers have swaggered into St. Louis as the top seed in the Missouri Valley Tournament. But this year, the Wildcat is limping. Hi, I'm Megan Bird.
And I'm Adam Hilt. The Creighton Blue Jays are moving toward the semifinals of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, but first they need to bring down the Panthers. John Carter takes us to the hoops.
345 college basketball teams all have the same goal, to make the NCAA tournament. But before Creighton can even think about going dancing, they have to get through Arch Madness. And this year, it has one of the most balanced fields in the history of the tournament.
It's open for anybody, but I think it's going to come down to the toughest team, who can persevere and who plays the hardest.
In the quarterfinals, the Blue Jays will be paired up with Northern Iowa, matchup in a rematch of the last game of the season. A 8-point Creighton win. So they have the confidence, but the Panthers, the 2-time defending conference tournament champs, have the experience.
Playing that team again, coming down to the tourney and kind of having a little bit of experience down at the tourney kind of scares you a little bit, thinking about what different matchups and stuff like that. But we just got to play and get prepared for it, and we'll go down there and swing away.
But one guarantee is that there's not going to be any shortage of blue down in St. Louis.
When I was at Northern Iowa, I always wondered where the heck all those Creighton fans came from, and so it's going to be fun to have them on our side.
If Creighton wants to make the NCAA tournament, they'll have to make a Cinderella run in St. Louis and win 3 games in 3 days. For the Omaha News, I'm John Carter.
The winner of the UNI Creighton game will advance to the semifinals to play either Missouri State, Southern Illinois, or Illinois State. Tip-off of the quarterfinal matchup is Friday afternoon at 2:35. Don't have tickets? Watch it live on Fox Sports Midwest.
Whether you call it getting your bell rung or seeing stars, the danger is the same. John Schreiner gives us an inside look of one of today's most spotlighted sports injuries.
This time of year, football players around the country stretch, strain, and lift. But there's one injury all this off-season training can't always prevent.
And initially it just went lights out, blacked out, laid on the ground for a hot second or two. and got up finally, just very dizzy, seeing all sorts of lights, had no idea what was going on.
Yes, it's the concussion. It has become the hot-button topic in football. Recently, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell asked for standard concussion treatment legislation from all 50 states. The prime target? Youth football.
There is evidence to suggest that younger kids, especially, again, let's say high school compared to college, that they don't recover as quickly after concussion.
With concussions at the forefront of discussion, one Omaha youth sports organization says they've got policies already in place.
All of our coaches are certified for concussion awareness through their program, and so we've taken a pretty active role in trying to be out in the forefront of identification and what we do if we see somebody that does have a concussion.
Most prominent locally was the concern that such laws would be tough to enforce and fund.
Something like concussion, which is harder to find, to diagnose, it's a lot harder to legislate around something like that.
For the Omaha News, I'm John Schreiner.
So far, 9 states have passed laws regarding the treatment of players suffering from concussions. Nebraska currently doesn't have one, but there is a bill being considered by state legislators. LB 260 would require written permission from a doctor for a student to return to practice after a concussion. The bill's sponsor is Omaha State Senator Steve Lathrop. If the legislation is adopted, it won't take effect until July 2012.
It's been one fine winter for the Maverick hockey team, and as they prepare for the WCHA playoffs, UNO's athletic department is bracing itself for one of the biggest weekends in school history. As the Mavericks stormed the ice for their last regular season home series, fans streamed in to see a team that had become the hottest ticket in town. The 12th-ranked Mavs have already secured home ice for the WCHA playoffs, their first year as a member in that conference. Community Relations Coordinator Alyssa Grucock knows what securing the home ice playoffs means to the Mavericks.
It gets us out there a little bit more. Since we are making the playoffs, we're getting that much more publicity. We're getting just our names out there. People are wanting to come out and see what's going on. It's more of a entertainment factor now. It's more of a something to do. Omaha has been known as more of an event town.
Longtime fan Craig Howe attributes the success to the hiring of head coach Dean Blaze.
I think it made a clear statement to everyone that UNO athletics is for real.
Howe thinks that the Mavericks have truly played to their slogan this year.
It's Unleash the Fury. That's what that is.
The Mavericks open their best-of-3 playoff series at the Quest Center on Friday, March 11th. Tickets are on sale at the UNO box office.
Thousands of Libyans fleeing their country for safety. Violence on the horizon. Coming up after the break, we've got all the international news you need to know.
And dozens of illegal migrant workers are being treated at a Greek hospital after a 5-week hunger strike. All this after the break. Thanks for choosing the Omaha News.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is where you'll find unlimited possibilities in academic, campus, and community life. Step up to the metropolitan advantage at bmf.com.
Face of America is about the diversity of our country. We're the only nation in the world consisting entirely of immigrants. Even the Native Americans were immigrants 16,000 years ago. I wanted to show that not only were we a country of migrants, but we could measure that degree of migrancy through people's DNA. We have 12 people representing the diversity that is at the heart of the greatness of the American people.
I find it fascinating to know where people are from, why they speak their language, what was their history. And I think it's important to know where you've been to know where you're going.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the greatest documents I've ever seen.
He's one of the founding fathers.
Oh my God!
My dad hadn't talked much about my maternal grandfather, so it was really interesting to see the path that his dad took to come to America and really forge a life for all of us.
Now this is what an officer said about your grandfather. He is unquestionably the company's best soldier in the New York Times.
Yeah. I knew he was a special man.
Faces of America is my 10th documentary I'm living a dream, and that dream was born in my living room in West Virginia watching PBS.
Watch online anytime at pbs.org.
I'm Ray Suarez for in-depth coverage of the global events that affect your life, as well as complete coverage of top domestic news. Tune into the new PBS NewsHour.
Weeknights at 9 Central Time on NET2.
Thousands are trapped at Libya's border with Tunisia. The UN says the situation has reached a crisis point. The Libyans are trying to flee the violent protests in their country. Libyan ruler Muammar Gaddafi says his sons have promised the protesters bloodshed, and most recently accused the protesters of being al-Qaeda conspirators.
50 migrant workers are being treated at state hospitals throughout Greece 5 weeks into a hunger strike. Authorities say migrant workers are being treated for acute kidney failure. A Greek immigrant support network says many of the workers striking for residence permits have even stopped drinking water. Experts estimate Greece is home to more than 350,000 illegal migrant workers.
An economic outlook that defies devastating flooding. Australia's Bureau of Statistics says the country's 2010 economic growth is surprisingly healthy. Others see a reason for concern. They say flooding happened too late in the fourth quarter to affect that figure.
Thanks again for choosing the Omaha News. We'll be back here every Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
Until then, we want to know what you think. Visit our new website at theomahanews.com or find us on Facebook. You can get an inside look at how our reporters found their stories.
And find more stories that our reporters covered. Have news tips, story ideas, or just want to let us know what you think? Email us at youromahanews@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
From all of us here at UNO Television, have a good night.
Hi, I'm Meshach Taylor, actor and public television supporter, encouraging you to become a fan of UNO Television. Located on the University of Nebraska at Omaha campus, UNO Television is a unit of the College of Communication, Fine Arts, and Media. Student crew members are trained and placed in broadcasting positions that give them real-world experience. Many students move seamlessly into jobs within the local television market. UNO Television, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
This is what we cover
on Need to Know.
This isn't just a Mexican problem. This is a joint problem.
The idea that the future could be better than the present.
I'm humming my own discontent.
I've been mocked because I'm a, quote, creationist.
This is not a boom or bust industry. This is a renewable resource.
Your job as an investigative reporter is to get information to people who need it.
This is an extraordinary event that calls for extraordinary measures.
Friday night at 8:30 Central Time on NET1.
Big week this week. The president has really come around.
I've got 2 sound bites.
Okay, so Alexis will talk about what?
I think Tim Kaine was talking about.
But the point is that they've been pulling their punches. I mean,
the whole politics of what's going on in Washington right now.
But what other words we want? Let's just start with what we saw was playing out in front of
Illustrated.
Our eyes was the exact opposite.
Oh yeah, I got to get that done.
Right.
Washington.
What time's Dad is coming?
Friday night at 8 Central Time on NET1.
NPR News during the day and cool jazz at night on NET Radio's new channel, HD2. You can listen online anytime, anywhere, on our website, netnebraska.org/radio. In the Lincoln area, you can also listen over the air using an HD radio. Find out more about this new jazz and news service from NET Radio on the web, netnebraska.org/radio.